We look now at number 11 in our series going through the books of Corinthians. This one's entitled Stewardship and Mission. We don't always put those two together, do we? When it comes to stewardship, that often seems to be a bit of a downer, as you might say, when the pastor gets up and says, you know, we need some more funding for this, that and the other, and please do remember to pay tithe, and the offerings are down. That often can seem to be something that doesn't strike a resonant chord with many people. But here Paul is doing something similar. He's reminding the people there in Corinth that yes, they had some enthusiasm for helping others, other Christians around that part of the world, and now maybe they're not quite so enthusiastic as they were before. So he says there in 2 Corinthians, let's look at that in chapter 9. We're looking at chapters 8 and 9. Brothers and sisters, we want to let you know about the grace of God shown to the Macedonian churches. Even though they have suffered terrible trouble, they are overflowing with happiness, and even though they are very poor, they are also overflowing with generosity. And he seems to be saying, as you read through, that if they could be thinking like this and having that kind of attitude, well, what about you? You are so blessed with many things. He says in verse 7, since you have an abundance of everything, your trust in God, your eloquence, your spiritual knowledge, your complete dedication, and in your love for us, make sure that your abundance also extends to this gracious ministry of giving. I like that line, the gracious ministry of giving. It's not an obligation, it's not a demand. Paul is being very careful here not to imply that this is something that he needs or that he is in any way enforcing. He's inviting them to be part of this ministry of sharing with other churches, especially those who don't have so much of this world's goods, and to help them in their ministry by supplying funding for the projects that are very much needed there. And we can apply that to us today. Often we see that there are great needs, and we are invited to participate, to share in that, to see that we also can identify and have a part in doing all this. And he says he's sending Titus and also another trustworthy brother. You see that there in the material for this time. And he goes on in verse 1 of chapter 9, I really don't need to write to you about this offering for God's people. I know how keen you are to help. I was boasting about this to those in Macedonia, that you in Achaia, that's the mainland Greece, have been ready for over a year, and your enthusiasm has encouraged many of them to give. But I'm sending these brothers so that my boasting about you regarding this won't be proved wrong, and that you're prepared just as I said you would be. This is just in case some Macedonians should come with me and find you unprepared. We don't want to be embarrassed about the fact that you made certain promises and intended to do this, but we don't want to come and find that, oh, maybe you've changed your mind and this is not quite what we want to find when we come and visit you. And that's in verse 5. That's why I decided I should ask these brothers to visit you in advance and complete the arrangements to collect this offering, so that it will be ready as a gift and not as something demanded. So there you have Paul being very tactful and not trying to kind of say forcibly, this is what you have to do. This is something that we are inviting you to look at and to do. So as we think about that from our perspective, may we give from grateful hearts. And it doesn't have always to be through the channels that are established. We see needs around us. We see ministries that could be benefit and blessed. So let's look at what we can do with God, what God has supplied us with, so that we can help others fulfill the ministry that Jesus gave to each and every one of us, to share the good news as far as possible wherever we might be. May God bless you as you think and study about these things.